UFC 314, Alexander Volkanovski takes on Diego Lopez for the undisputed featherweight championship of the world. This is the Funk and Flex MMA preview and prediction show. While you're here, drop a like on the thumbs up button below, drop a comment, hit the subscribe button, show some love to the channel. We got a banger card coming up this week, and I am more than excited to break it down for y'all. But I do appreciate all the support that you can show back to me. I will be at this card live from Miami, so I'll try to see if I can get some good content, maybe a couple good videos of the walkouts that I'll show on the Instagram at Funk and Flex MMA. Make sure you're tuned in there, because guys, this is a stacked card from head to toe. I normally, when I go to these fights live, don't show up until the main card, but this one's got me considering even there for some of these early prelim fights. But we won't waste any more time. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the first fight of the night. Nora Cornell versus Haley Cowan. I like Nora Cornell in this one. She's been impressive in her 3 UFC performances, even just losing a close split decision against Jacqueline Cavalcanti. I rate that pretty highly. Haley Cowan winning a split decision on the Contender Series, and then losing a decision to Jamie Lee Horth, just leaving a lot to be desired. I'm going to have to go with Nora Cornell as the pick to get this one done. Haley Cowan's pretty tough, and she's going to come out really motivated in this one, so likely going to a decision, but Cornell is the pick. Up next, Tresean Gore versus Marco Tulio. I like Tulio to get this done in the second fight of the night. Tresean Gore, a promising prospect, and I think it's crazy that he's plus 300. He has good wrestling and a great guillotine if someone wants to shoot on him. But Marco Tulio's really a good striker. He likes to operate out of the counters, and Tresean Gore really depends on that wrestling game to win fights. I think Tulio is going to be too disciplined on maintaining the distance and waiting for Tresean Gore to make a mistake. Tulio's hands really good coming out of the Shoot the Box Diego Lima gym, training with Charles Oliveira and other champions. 185-pound Tulio, not really what Shoot the Box Diego Lima is known for, but he is going to be the pick in this fight, and I think that he's a good young, promising prospect. Moving along to Sumuderji versus Mitch Raposo. Mitch Raposo losing a split decision to Andre Lima. He was kind of gifted a split decision. I don't know how any of the judges saw him winning that fight, but what he did show to me is he has a lot of dog in him. Sumuderji here with the big reach advantage, height advantage, and experience advantage. But what we have seen from Sumuderji is his grappling is really questionable. He looks almost defenseless on the ground. And I think Mitch Raposo comes from a camp at MMA Cartel with Glover Teixeira, who's going to be able to drop a good game plan. I like Mitch Raposo here to use his grappling, which we haven't seen a lot of, and I'm interested to see what that sub is going to be priced at. Give me Mitch Raposo as the pick here, as I think that he can grind out a gritty decision or find Sumuderji in a bad spot on the ground. On to the next fight of the night, we have a matchup between Cedriques Dumas and Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. Cedriques Dumas, a good athletic MMA fighter, doesn't really have a specialized skill set. He's got athletic striking, boxing, likes to mix it up in the clinch. He's good at getting it to the clinch, has a good physical forward pressure style, and decent wrestling. Training out of Team Remedy, BJJ, and MMA, he has looked good early on in his UFC career, other than the first round knockout to Nursultan Ruzaboyev, which is hard to hold that against him, as Ruzaboyev has been knocking out a lot of people. And Josh Fremd with the submission loss. Josh Fremd with some tricky jiu-jitsu here, which we can't really say Mikhail Oleksiejczuk has. I like Cedriques Dumas in this spot. I think he's able to avoid the power that's going to come at him from Oleksiejczuk early, but I will say that is Oleksiejczuk's path here, is to chin Dumas, as Ruzaboyev did. He's obviously not going to get the sub, as Oleksiejczuk has a big hole in his grappling game, which is ultimately why I'm leaning towards the dog and Dumas here. I think that if he's able to take him down and implement a submission game plan, he'll be able to get this one done easily. Give me Dumas as the pick. Up next, we have a matchup between Darren Elkins and Julian Erosa. This is an awesome matchup on this card, guys. I am going to go another dog, big dog here. Darren Elkins is the pick. Julian Erosa is a well-rounded skill set fighter. We saw him catch Christian Rodriguez in that guillotine, and I think he's live to do the same against Darren Elkins. But I like Darren Elkins' survivability. Only person that has submitted him was Charles Oliveira, and I think that that really says something. Darren Elkins fought the best of the best, and he does like to wrestle. I think that he's able to survive the grit from Julian Erosa, and at a plus 280 price tag, I'm all over it this week. Julian Erosa is known for testing these young prospects, but he loses to guys with experience, and Darren Elkins is that experience. Give me Darren Elkins as one of the bigger underdogs on this card, as one of my confident picks this week. Moving along, we have Jim Miller against Chase Hooper. Jim Miller, 41 years old, man, a veteran of the sport, and I hate picking against him, especially at plus 500. But Chase Hooper is a young savage, one of the best grapplers in MMA right now. I just am very high on Chase Hooper, and I think that he's able to get this one done dominantly. If it stays at range, the fight favors Chase Hooper, and if it goes to the ground, even though Jim Miller has years of grappling experience and doing grappling competitions, Chase Hooper is on another level, and he's young, 25 years old, getting better every time in the cage. Jim Miller's really only shot is to land a Hail Mary KO in close, and I think Chase Hooper is going to be too smart and tactical, dance on the outside, pick him apart with kickboxing range, and then eventually shoot, get it to the ground, and he is a submission specialist when it gets there. Chase Hooper as a very confident pick. Unfortunately, a minus 850 price tag this week, though, as well. Moving along, a matchup between Yao Xiaonan and Verna Jandiroba. This fight definitely with some title implications. Yan Xiaonan did lose to Zhang Weili. Weili and Shevchenko needs to happen. I want that fight to happen. But these are what's up. This is what's up next for us at the flyweight division. I like Verna in this spot. Yao Xiaonan got put to sleep by Wei Li, and somehow the fight didn't get stopped as she was literally asleep in between rounds and had to stumble up, didn't know where her corner was, came back to in the corner, and you got to give her credit for coming back and putting on a decent fight after that. But Verna Jandiroba, her grappling skills, her throws from the clinch, the well-rounded skill set she has, I think she may have a little disadvantage on the feet, which is why Yao is a live dog, or Yan Xiaonan is a live dog in this spot. But Verna Jandiroba's jiu-jitsu is too elite. The only people really giving her problems are grapplers. And while Yao Xiaonan has a little bit of grappling, if Verna gets this to the ground, it's over. Give me Verna by strangle in this matchup. Moving along to the featured prelim of the card, Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson. I'm going to lean Sean Woodson in this one, guys, but another guy I hate picking against is Dan Ige. Taking that fight on short notice against Diego Lopes, you got to give him all the credit in the world. But unfortunately, he struggles against exactly guys like Sean Woodson. The tall, lengthy kickboxer style of fight. Sean Woodson's just a little bit more well-rounded too. Dan Ige is going to have to mix in his wrestling game if he wants to have a chance at this one. But I see Sean Woodson edging out a decision. Sean Woodson with some serious finishing capability. We saw it in the fight in Tampa in December. Dan Ige is just so tough and durable against the baddest men on the planet. Sean Woodson's going to have himself a test here, but I do see him edging out two rounds to one in a decision. Probably the first two where Dan Ige always finishes the fight strong, which is why you hate picking against him, especially at plus 145. But I also think minus 175 is a decent price tag for Sean Woodson. So up next, Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes in our first fight of the main card. I'm going to go underdog Dom Reyes here. He's not plus 250. It is more like plus 150 is a typo on the screen. But Dom Reyes, the better boxer in the spot. I know Krylov has power, but the knockout against Gustafsson really isn't as exciting as it looks on paper. Gustafsson's a shell of the fighter that he used to be. Just really that chin is gone, and Krylov is not going to be able to put Dom Reyes down as easy. We see Dom Reyes still has that first round finishing potential. Um, and I don't think that Krylov is going to land the spinning elbow of Yuri, where Dom Reyes had Yuri hurt in that early fight. So I think Dom Reyes here at 35 years old still has his wits to him. I love him at a plus, I think it's more like a 155 price tag. So I'm definitely going to be cashing that in. One of my favorite underdogs on this card. Give me Dominic Reyes. Up next, Yair Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull in his UFC debut. I'm really torn on this one, guys. I'm leaning towards Yair Rodriguez to manage the distance and survive the early onslaught that Patricio Pitbull likes to put on. He's known for his first round knockouts, and I could see that happening here against Yair Rodriguez. I could also see him implementing a wrestling heavy game plan, much like the Volkanovski loss. If Pitbull was smart, that would be what he game plans. But I like Yair Rodriguez, having gone through that matchup, to be able to survive the takedowns and the clinch work of Patricio Pitbull, use his range and distance management in the first round, and ultimately do enough damage to win. Give me Yair Rodriguez as the pick for this week. Bryce Mitchell takes on Gene Silva in the featured fight of the main card. All signs are pointing to Gene Silva, but we're not overlooking Bryce Mitchell as a community, are we? I know he says some crazy stuff, and I know that he has some wild takes and some questionable takes on history, believes the earth's flat, whatever you may believe on that. I'm not here to make that call. But what I will say is the man's a damn good MMA practitioner with great takedowns, great jiu-jitsu skill set, and I don't believe that that's something that we've seen Gene Silva go against to the level that Bryce Mitchell is. We've seen Gene Silva taken down by lesser fighters. I think Bryce Mitchell's got a live shot on this, but ultimately Gene Silva's probably going to get the KO. At a minus 270 price tag, I'm probably going to leave this one alone. We'll bet the KO, but Bryce Mitchell's live in this one, guys, and it kind of scares me to put in a parlay. So we're going to leave this fight alone. There's enough action. But for the pick's sake, I'm going Gene Silva. Moving along to the co-main event of the evening, Michael Chandler versus Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. Michael Chandler really, really disappointed me in the matchup against Charles Oliveira. I did pick him in that spot, and it would make you think that I would pick him against Paddy the Baddy, but I did lose some respect for him that night, and I did lose a lot of confidence in him as a performer. Coming on 39 years old very quickly, Paddy the Baddy just turned 30. I think Paddy is really going to be in his peak condition here. This is the best version of Paddy Pimblett we're going to see. I like the straights down the middle from Paddy. I think he can hurt him with the jab even. If he can just keep rocking that jab, survive the first round pressure of Michael Chandler, I like a second or third round sub here. A lot of people are going to count him out for decision too, but I think he can do enough work to get a 5-rounder. It's not the first time Paddy's gone 5 rounds. Obviously, Chandler with more 5-round experience, and this is where it would worry me, is obviously the early power of Chandler and those big looping shots that he likes to throw with the forward pressure, and then late in the fight. But other than that, I think Paddy's smart enough to survive it, and I don't think that it's going to get into the 4th or 5th round for Chandler to test him. And if it does, I will be holding my breath, but I trust in Paddy to get this one done. Good kicks, good low kicks. He's going to be chewing up the calves of Michael Chandler. And Paddy Jiu-Jitsu, severely underrated. I think he is one of the better practitioners in the 145-pound division. I don't think Charles Oliveira is going to dominate Paddy in a grappling match. So I would love to see Paddy climb the ranks here, and this is going to be the trampoline that launches him into the upper rankings of this division. On to the main event of UFC 314, the fight that I have not been wanting to pick. I've been wanting to watch as a fan. I don't want to see either of these guys get knocked out. I want to see both of these guys win the title. Diego going for the first time. Volkanovski looking to reclaim the title as the featherweight GOAT. If he wins this, he will be the featherweight GOAT. I think that if it goes long, I favor Volkanovski a little bit. Although I do think Lopez is live to win a decision. I think that Volkanovski's live to put him away late in the fight, but I think early on Lopez is going to be a real problem. I think that the power and speed of Lopez is going to get this one done for him. And while it's not a confident pick, and it's one that very well could change after I go back and watch some of these fights from Lopez through the end of the week, I'm going to go Lopez as the pick for the main event that I don't want to pick against Volk. So many fighters I don't want to pick against, but I got to do what I got to do. You know, we're trying to make money in this industry. You can't be getting caught picking with your heart. So that being said, Lopez is the pick. Even though that's not a bad heart pick either. I love Lopez. I think he's a great fighter. I love what he stands for. Very nice guy. Humble, respectable champion. And I think that he stands a chance against Ilia Topuria. And if he's running, I think Topuria is running from guys in this division, and he won't admit it. He's scared of making that big weight cut, and guys like Diego Lopez can make this weight cut naturally and dominate at the featherweight division. I think this is the Diego Lopez era, and I will be there in Miami. Happy no matter what happens in the main event outcome. I probably won't have much on this fight either, to be honest with you guys. But keep an eye out for the betting breakdown video on Friday. Make sure you subscribe. Follow me on the Funk and Flex MMA channel on Instagram as well. I'll be posting all the video links there too, and as well as my full card come Saturday with all of my bets and betting breakdown there as well. Appreciate you guys tuning in for this one. A little bit longer video this week, but it is a stacked pay-per-view. I really wanted to dive deep on these cards. And other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. We'll see you Friday. Stay funky.